Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm gonna do something that is a one-time thing only. So if I mess up, I have to get another hood, which I don't want to do. I want this to be a one-time try and then finished. So with that being said, it's gonna be measured probably like 10 times and cut only once.
I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
If you've seen the last videos about, I'm doing right now, I'm doing some air tests. So right now I've been testing with the wall and without the wall. If there's any difference in temperature. And now I'm going to set it up for having the hood vents installed and seeing if that makes any difference in the temperature that's in the engine bay. When it comes to hood vents, there is a whole bunch of hood vents. Either if you go on Amazon, eBay, or if you make them yourself, or if you go through another shop that makes their own. That's kind of what I went. I did a lot of research, just kind of see styles that I like and don't like, and also all varies from sizes as well. So I went with the shop that actually specifies in BMWs, really. So not so much Audi or Universal, but it could be Universal. So the vents that I got are these right here. So here's a good, and I really love the design on these ones. And it was also like a good size that I wanted too. Because there are some that are kind of on the smaller side. And I didn't want too small, nor did I want too big. But I think these right here were the good size for my personal taste. The things that I will need was obviously the vents. 2 of them.
Vents.
Huh?
That's right.
Great. The yours?
Uh-huh.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Cool.
So this paper here is the template for the vents. Here I got some rivets and a rivet gun. I went ahead and laid out the vents. So once the hood is shut, this is where I want the vents to be right up above. Yeah. So here is the passenger side and here is the driver's side. Now, one thing to really keep in mind when it comes to the design of the vent slash the size, which is, I think the size is kind of more important here. So if you were to go with a smaller size, because the plan was to have the vent right on this side of where it kind of like slopes down slightly. But if you see with the size that I have, I'm gonna have to cut into the support section. So I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna affect it will affect the durability, if that's the correct phrase, I can't even think right now, of the hood, or also be just kind of wobbly. So I guess I'll be the guinea pig for that. And when there are smaller vents too that you probably have to cut right here and maybe cut in a little bit into the frame part. But as for me, I'm gonna have to really chop off the cross section. So like I said before, I guess I'll find out how the stability of the hood is. This is how the hood roughly is gonna look like. So right now I'm keeping an eye on this one because this one started to slide on me. So you can see, look at that. And that's because I have this ceramic coated, so that's gonna be a little tough for that to stay on. But yeah, so overall, this is how the hood. I'll just hold on to this. So just pretend that this is over here. So this is pretty much how I'm gonna have it set up. I can scoot back a little bit. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mark it up with painter's tape and get myself the templates onto the hood and start doing some measurements and seeing where exactly where I'm going to be making my cuts. This is what I have right now. So I have the templates. So passenger side, driver's side. So one thing, since this is ceramic coated, just the regular blue tape was keep on peeling off. So I had to go ahead and use this tape. So I put quite a bit of it so that it'll stick, because the ceramic coat, isn't helping in this situation for me. But right now, so I have this right here, so this tape and this tape, I just labeled this as in the good zone, the green zone. And I wanted this to be as high as it can be on this upper limit. Not so much down here, but like up here, because if I do it too high, then I'll be hitting the subframe, the frame, the supporting part right here, and I don't want that. So I wanted so in this, from this case, the highest point where I can go with the vent. So that's what I meant. If I were to go past that little, you know, that green zone, I would have the vent up here, and I don't want to cut into this. I want it to be as close as I can to this right here, because I already have to cut out this part, so I don't want to cut out any more of the support part of the hood. Okay, so after measuring several times both ends, I'm gonna go ahead and use a Dremel. So I want to see, because I do have a cutting wheel, but I want to start off small just to see, get a feel for, you know, if I do need a cutting wheel. Since the hood is still on the car and I have not detached it, because I want this so that it doesn't move on me, so I ended up putting a moving blanket over the engine bay, so if there is going to be a lot of scraps and shrapnel and whatnot, it just falls right on top of the blanket here. First, the vent on the passenger side is drilled out, and the vent fits nice and perfect. So I ended up, just to be on the safe side, I cut a little bit less than on the line, and then once I was done with the hole, I still needed a little bit more wiggle room, so that's when I was able to grind this down just a little bit so I can get just enough, because I don't want to make the hole too big, because then I couldn't add more material. I can always cut less and then slightly, you know, cut away more material. But yeah, but so far it looks good. There's the passenger side. There's the driver's side. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I'm going to go ahead, remove these, give this all a good clean, but before I remove the tape, I'm going to grind down, just make the edges, you know, a little bit more smoother on both sides. And yeah, so after that, I'm really excited for this. I have not put in the rivets in yet, so I just went ahead, bent the vents just to the curvature of the hood. But so far, you know, I cleaned up and it looks amazing. So I still need to drill the holes, but I mean, I am loving this look a lot. I think it definitely gives it this more aggressive look that I'm going for. So what I'm gonna do, before I drill holes, I'm actually gonna grind a little bit more on the sides, just the sides. As far as the top part, I don't think there's really no need to do that, but maybe just a little bit. But yeah, I'm really liking this so far. It's came out really good. So for this being my first time doing this, and yeah, I'm definitely got lucky with measuring 10 times and cutting only once. So yeah, so I am very, very happy. I'm repeating myself quite a bit, but so I still have the blanket underneath, and it's just, you know, and there's the cutout pieces that just fell right there. And yeah, so, oh, and again, I did have it holding up with these little pucks right here on the side, so that gives it elevation. So with the grinding wheel, I wouldn't be, you know, grinding onto the blanket right here. So yes, I am very happy with the way these are coming out so far. So I went ahead and smoothed out the edges on both sides. So I went ahead and reapplied some more tape again. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and spray paint, you know, the exposed metal now, so to prevent it from rusting when it ever makes contact with water, and also because, you know, it does, you know, shine a bit. So whenever you have the vents on, you don't see the shiny aluminum. It'll just be black, so it'll be able to like mask and blend in with the vents. I put a little bit of primer first, and then I went ahead and spray painted it black. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna let this sit overnight for it to completely dry before I go ahead and install the vents. It's another day and the paint is now dried, so now I can go ahead, put the vents on, and start drilling the holes that I need to attach the vents onto the hood. Two hands, like it still feels pretty structural safe. Not flimsy like I thought it was going to be, but pretty good. So I know there are smaller hood vents that these where you don't have to cut as much as I had to do, but slightly part of the frame, and I'm guaranteed even with that's a lot more sturdier than what I have. But overall, even with these all chopped off, like it's still pretty sturdy, I would say. Ready to drill the holes, and it's going to be a 1/8 drill bit that I'm going to use to drill the holes. There's the first vent is finished. And I go ahead, drill the holes for the driver's side, and also put on the rivets. There it is, all said and done. I'm very happy how it came out. So what I'm going to do next, so here you can see the underside. So here's the underside with the vents, passenger side, driver side. Looks really good. So this will definitely help with the ventilation underneath the hood. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean up the mess that I made with all the metal shavings. Carefully, I'm going to get carefully removed because I still have a lot of shrapnel here. Looks like I have some extra rivets. So the kit looks like it came with 2 extra, but I did use all of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and also 6 on this side. So they do give you 2 extra rivets in the kit. So you can see, I do have, a lot of stuff that I definitely don't want to get on the engine bay. So I'm going to carefully remove this towel, or the blanket, I mean. Here it is with the engine bay and the vents. On the driver's side, it looks like I definitely have the expansion tank right here. So I'm definitely, over like the feed line for the coolant hose for the supercharger. So hopefully that will help, have the coolant slightly a little bit cooler, but I don't think it'll make a huge difference, but still. So you can see where it's sitting on top of. So now on the passenger side, there's definitely not, you can see, there's the MAF sensor right here. As you can see, the valve covers. So I am slightly just on the border of the wall right here. So I don't think it'll make a huge difference. So this is where the air will be escaping for the air that's meant for the filter that's coming from behind the fog light. So I don't think it'll be a huge difference. I can slightly, bend this, so you can see how it's moving. So I can bend it a little bit more this way so that this sits 100% over the engine bay, not so much a little bit of a gap. But if it doesn't work out, I think it's still not a big deal. But very happy with, you can kind of see the internals of the engine bay through the vents. That's a pretty cool look. For sure. Now that the vents are all done, there's one more thing that I need to take into consideration is when I wash the car. So I do wash my own car, and I don't want water, coming in through the vents. So the only thing I can think of off the top of my head right now as of this moment is putting some tape or like a duct tape covering the vents just to protect it from water getting inside. I'm sure there might be other things out there that help prevent that, but right now that's the only thing I can think of. So I'll do more research later on if there's actually better ways than using tape. So I had to re-record this clip because the original one came out really bad. So real quick, so before recording this video, I was actually recording another video, which is going to be the next one after this video gets posted. So what I'm doing is just this brief summary. The first test is what's like the temps in here without the wall. The second test is there any difference with having the wall installed? And then the third test is going to be with the vents. Does that make a difference with the vents and having the wall together? And I'll go into more detail in that video, which is going to again be the next video after this video gets posted. That will be the end of this video. Hopefully this video was entertaining because it was a heart-beating moment for me, especially when I had to cut up the hood. But I'm very happy with the results. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy this video. You guys have a good one.